Hey, what's up? Jerry Fetta here, owner, founder, and CEO of Wealth Dynamics. Hey, it's Sales and Marketing Saturday. I've got some great tips for you here. You're gonna wanna stick around. I'm gonna talk today about how to increase the amount of appointments you're getting as a salesperson. I've got some magic sauce that I use. I just tried it out again yesterday to make sure it still works like it did, and it does. It works like a charm. I wanna share that with you. If you stay to the very end of the video, I have an announcement for you on something that's gonna help you tremendously with your sales game. Okay, so stick around for that. This is something you've probably never seen or used before, and it will take you to the next level, but you gotta watch the full video. So Sales and Marketing Saturday, I wanna talk today about how to get more appointments, right? Like sales starts with an appointment. A lot of times, like when you're in sales, you're starting out, you don't have a lot of appointments, and so you're like, I'm in sales, why am I not making money? Or maybe you're making money, you're like, how do I make more money? It starts with more appointments. You've gotta be in front of more people, right? And this means you're gonna be busy. This means your calendar's gotta be packed. This means that you've gotta actually, like make that a thing you focus on, right? So I recently took a look at my sales area in my company. We had a couple of people, turn over. We had a couple of new people come in, and I looked at the stats and I was like, the sales stats are not where I want them to be. Right, and this might be something you do as your own salesperson. You look at your own stats and you're like, this is not where I want my sales stats to be, meaning I'm not selling enough, I'm not bringing in enough revenue, or whatever that might be, or I'm not earning enough in commissions. Or you could be a team leader or a business owner and you're looking at your team and you're like, man, the stats just aren't where they should be. So the first thing is track stats in the first place. You can't have that realization if you're not looking at stats to begin with, if you don't have graphs, because then you're basing it off of opinions and politics and relationships, not on stats. Think of sales like sports. Imagine a sports game where instead of keeping track of the scoreboard, they based who was winning off of who the referees liked the most. Okay, that would be completely unfair, right? Like no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't win because the ref liked Billy more than he liked you, and Billy sucks and Billy's losing in points, but nobody tracks the points. They're tracking, does Billy say the right things and does he fit in with the group, and is Billy a good guy and happy and go lucky? No, you need to track stats. Okay, like your job as a salesperson is to sell. Your sales stats should be up. If you're not selling, I'm gonna say it, it's gonna be a little bit harsh for you, but you're a disgrace to sales. If you're a salesperson and you're not selling, you're not doing the one thing you should be doing as a salesperson. You're not a salesperson. Like to be a salesperson, you've gotta sell, right? If I'm not selling, I'm just a person, not a salesperson, right? So if I'm not tracking the stats, I can never have that realization and be like, man, I suck, I need to get better, right? Now, before you can be good, you do need to be bad. Right? And before you got to be bad, you've got to suck, right? You're going to start there first. And before you suck, you've got to try in the first place, right? And so if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, good, I'm ready to try, start tracking stats. First stat I would track is number of contacts I make. Okay, how many contacts do I make? Now, sales has been very different. Here's the thing with sales training is a lot of it's from, 10, 20 years ago or earlier. Even some of the good stuff is a little bit outdated. Guys, we have so much more technology that we can use with sales. Like even social media and text messaging, which has been around for a while. Like we've had these for years, but most sales trainers that are like the OGs in the industry, they didn't have them. So their sales material is not based on how to use text messaging, how to use social media, let alone artificial intelligence or, follow up and retargeting on social media or video messaging or any of the things that we use with my company. Right? So I want you to look at, okay, my contacts, but I want you to look at what's the contact that's going to get the best answer. Now, here's the mistake most salespeople make. They don't understand the difference between business to business sales and business to consumer sales. So I'm going to give you a tip here. Figure out which one you are. Do I sell to companies or do I sell to individuals? If I sell to companies, when I'm contacting people, it's going to have to be on a phone, because I'm not going to be able to text someone at the company. I need to call and get put through to the decision maker and get in front of them and pitch my product and do my demo and get them to make a decision, right? I can't be like, what's the CEO of Google's phone number? I'm going to text him really quick. It doesn't work that way, right? So you've got to call and go through their hierarchy of decision makers and gatekeepers to get to the guy to make that decision. So that's business to business. So I learned sales from a company that does business to business, and I was very into you got to do phone calls. Okay, and you do need to do phone calls. Like don't be a chicken, be on the phone. But here's the thing is my company is business to consumer, right? As a consumer myself, I don't answer my phone. When someone calls me, if I don't recognize the number, I send it straight to voicemail. If someone does call me and they leave me a voicemail, I don't want to check it. I'm like, dude, just text me, right? Like I don't want the commitment of having to talk to you. I don't want the commitment of having to listen to your 2-minute voicemail. Just send me a quick text. I can read it on my own time. I can read faster than you can talk. And so one thing that I've been doing with my contacts with my sales team is I was like, guys, we need to be doing more texting. We're a business to consumer company. Individuals have cell phones. We have their cell phone numbers. Okay, I want you to do one-on-one text messages. Okay, and don't make it pitchy. Like, people have been pitched so much, you need to be unique. Otherwise, you're just like everyone else. You're not gonna be listened to. Okay, so I'm gonna give you at the end of this video the script that we're using on these text messages that is gonna give you amazing conversions. Okay, but again, this is my clickbait. You've gotta watch the full video. Okay, so the text messaging thing is a big deal, right? Texting, they're gonna respond. You can now text back and forth. You can then qualify them into a phone call rather than being on a phone call, wasting the time dialing, wasting the time waiting for them to answer, wasting the time leaving a voicemail. If they pick up, now you're on a 20-minute conversation with them. Maybe they're qualified, maybe they're not. You don't know yet, right? There's a lot that goes into that. You can just kind of trim the fat and cut out. Versus business to business, right? Business to business, I can look at the company, I can find you online, I can figure out what your revenue is, I can figure out who the executives are, what industry you're in, I can look up stuff about you on your social media. And then when I call, I've got a lot more data so I can get through, and it is a longer cycle anyway, so I'm not worried about the 20-minute phone call because this may be a 6-month sales cycle to begin with, right? Do you see the difference there? So that text message is great for business to consumer. Business to business, you should be on the phone. If you're on the phone, you should be using an auto dialer if you can. Okay, that's gonna cut out the dial time. Even if you're consumer, like my team, we've got different lists. I'm gonna give you some magic here that we use. We've got different lists that people will call. So first, we have what's called the power-based list. That's your power base, your friends, family, your network, people that already know, like, and trust you. You're reaching out to them first. You're gonna reactivate them first because that's where you're gonna get the energy and support and some easy appointments. Okay, I have a brand new salesperson, Bree. She closed a sale the other day with someone in her power base. The guy's gonna put a $100,000 lump sum into a sacred account. He's gonna do about $1,000 a month. And this is someone she's known for a while that's in her power base that she reactivated and converted into a sale. Those are easy sales. Next one is the cold list. These are internet leads. These are cold calls, right? These are people that, they don't know, like, and trust you yet. They might know you or they might know and like you, but the trust isn't there yet, and that needs to be established. So on this list, this is where I would specifically use an auto dialer. You should have hundreds of names on the cold list, and you're just banging through them every day. Okay, 150 or more contacts every single day. The auto dialer will go through your file, your CSV or your Excel file, and just boom, 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 boom. It can drop, automatic voicemails if they don't pick up after 3 rings. It can call multiple numbers at the same time. It's gonna get you through that list. And the point of a cold list is to get someone from cold to warm. I want someone communicating with me. So I'm gonna do the cold list with the purpose of I want this guy communicating with me so that now I can move him over to the hot list. Okay, the hot list is now where I'm doing one-on-one follow-up. I'm not using a dialer anymore. I'm using very targeted, very specific strategies. I'm sending content, I'm sending video texts, I'm calling, I'm doing FaceTimes, I'm doing everything I can to build a relationship with this person. Okay, so you can think about on the cold list, what's the goal here? The cold list, I want them to know me and I want them to like me enough to actually talk. I want them to know me and like me. On the warm list, I want them to go from know and like to know, like, and now they also trust me. Okay, so that's our third list, is that warm list. The warm list, I want to get them hot and I want them to buy. Okay, once they buy, they're now going on to my client list. This is where client follow-up happens. With a client list, I'm servicing them. Okay, I want to deliver 5-star service to every single person I work with. Right, for me, this is something I'm putting back in my company. We let this get out of control a little bit where we grew really fast when it was just me. We had the best service in the world because I was the one doing it. We hired some other people at the time. They didn't value the service as much. They were more focused on quick sales. So we're correcting that and we're saying, okay, good, we need to be servicing our people better. So we're really focusing on current clients. Let's treat them like gold. Let's really invest in those relationships. Let's service them. Let's take great care of them. Let's talk to them more than their own spouse does. Right? We want to be that close with our clients. That's really what service should look like. Let's solve their problems. Okay, so that's the servicing aspect. And if you do all this, you're going to get more appointments. And that's the second graph you should track, is how many appointments are you attending versus setting, and that ratio. Right? And if you're doing all this, you're going to fill up your calendar. You're going to fill up your pipeline. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Okay? This is the value add at the end of the video that I was talking about. There's 2 things. So the first one is I want to give you my text messaging script. Okay? This is for people that they submitted their information to you. It's an internet lead, right? If you've got marketing going on in your company and you're getting internet leads, they're coming in, maybe they're buying a service and then not talking anymore, or maybe, they never bought in the first place, they just ended up on the email list. I want you to send them, if they're a consumer, again, this is not so much for business to business, this is consumers. If it's a consumer, I want you to text them, Say, hi, let's say their name is Mary. Hi, Mary, exclamation point. This is your name, Jerry Fetta with Wealth Dynamics. Have you been helped yet? Question mark. And that's it, right? People have a thing on help, right? They either want help or they're against help. Either way, it gets them in communication, right? And it focuses on service. They're not like, hey, you're not like, hey, I've got a great offer, you should sign up, or let's get on a call. You're like, hey, have you been helped? Right? They can sense the care factor. And so I did this yesterday, experimented with this. I sent out 115 text messages to existing leads, and I got about 20 appointments back on it. Right? That's a very high ratio. And again, I spent no time on the phone calling, it was all texting. So I can get a lot of contacts in, I can get a lot of appointments set, a lot of people who are then like, no, I haven't been helped. And then I can figure out how to help them. Or they're like, yes, I have been. I'm like, great. Now what else can I help with? How can I service you? Now I'm back on that client list. How do I treat them like gold, right? So that's the first tip. The second one is an announcement. So we are about to publish for the first time ever in the next few weeks, the Wealth Dynamics Sales Manual. Okay, this is something that we're publishing first for our ambassadors and wealth mentors. These are licensed agents that are getting into the business with us. So if you're watching this video and you're a licensed life insurance agent, or you're an active and winning client with Wealth Dynamics, or you're interested in becoming one of the two, okay, we're gonna give you access to this manual so you can learn sales from me the way that I did it, right? Last year, we cleared almost $5 million a year in revenue. Okay, and that's all the sales training that I'm giving you is how do you do that? How do you build a 7-figure income in the financial services business? So this is gonna be, it's pretty lengthy. I think it's 30,000 words, like it's pretty significant. It's got a lot of material on the entire sales process. It's got scripts, it's got follow-up, it's got everything you need in that sales process. So we're gonna be publishing that soon. If you're interested in getting a copy, I want you to comment below and say sales manual. Okay, and when you say sales manual, we'll get in touch with you. We can make sure we put you on the list as someone that's interested. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time.